I can't even say it. It's such a tongue twister. Self-shelf, self-help, or self-help, self-shelf segment. This book that we're reading is from Beth Kempton, Freedom Seeker. Live more, worry less, do what you love. And we got cut off yesterday. I would have read a little bit more when I was doing the school run and recording the previous video. So I thought I would continue. So yesterday we were doing Fit to Fly, emerging into the world, learning how to fly and taking the leap. And we ended with the quote, mess births beauty and chaos is progress. And that expression reminds me that you think about it, when you've got to tidy a room, right? When you're cleaning, as Louise Hay would say, when you're cleaning the rooms of your house, of your mind, sometimes it gets a bit she says, gets a bit cluttered. So you're out there, you've got to get everything out of the cupboards to sort everything out before you put it all back in and possibly clean it and go through everything. So when you're sorting stuff, when you're in progress mode, this is like that metaphor for how it still sometimes might not look the way you think it does. So that's what I was saying, that's not always in the way that you expect. So knowing this is a great relief, really, because when it feels like nothing is working, when you've forgotten how you got here and what you're trying to do, that's when you know it's actually working perfectly. You've come this far. Don't back away now. It's time to step off the ledge and into your life, from small and trapped to vast and free. That cage door is a gateway to freedom, framing all the potential and possibilities that lies ahead. Perfect for Transformational Tuesday when I'm posting this on the live. So entry 8 is letting it happen. Once you have used your freedom key to help you open the cage door, it's likely that you will feel all at sea for a while. Pay attention to this because it's an important indicator of growth and emergence. Get quiet and journal your response to the following questions. Now, if you're someone that doesn't like journaling, that's fine. But what I learned when I was learning training to be an EFT and TFT NLP coach, is when you ask someone a question, even if they don't say it out loud, your subconscious is going to answer for you and give you the question. So you do answer even if you don't know the answer for you. It even in that now moment or over the next couple of days, it poses it to you. It always gives you the answer. So you'll always seek that answer. Your brain will seek that answer within you. So even by reading you the questions, well, I often do this a lot when I'm doing workshops. It's why I'm almost posing these questions to you, because I know that it will help, even if you don't know on the surface, that your subconscious will allow you to answer those questions for yourself around you. You're a sort of marinade, if you like. So you can do that. So don't panic if you don't want to sit and journal about this. You can grab a piece of paper, pause the live even, and do this if you want, if you've got time. If not, you can save this for later. You can write the questions down, you can journal on it. But these are some questions that can help. The other thing I want to say is this really reminds me of the Dark Night of the Soul, with the whole point of like loosening up, letting go in the chaos to that. So how do you feel at the threshold of your cage? What are you excited about? What are you unsure of? And if you don't like the metaphor of a cage, it's that feeling of being trapped, which is because like wanting to be yourself, become yourself, hence freedom, seeking the freedom within us, within our lives, then utilize a different one. So how do you feel at the threshold of change, at the threshold of uncertainty of what's happening in the world right now, for example? Next question on here is, do you feel any forces pushing or pulling you out into the big wide world? So do you feel that pull on the of the world in general pulling you one way, your family pulling you one way, external forces or internal forces like guiding you? Like, it always reminds me of that Moana song. She's singing her heart out and she's like, oh, she's got to go, she's got to get on that boat, and because it's inherent in her. It's like, I don't think I could do a 9 to 5, if you like. I was always telling people where they could get stuff cheaper in retail, for example. I had to be honest, I couldn't do the lying and the selling in that kind of masculine way. It just didn't feel right for me. And the irony of that, when I was in college, I worked in the shop in Bluewater, and I used to tell everyone where they could get stuff, like, oh, we've got this, but if you go there, and they used to come back and they were like, the manager lady would be like, I don't know how you do it. She said, and my friend said it's because she's honest. People trust her. I was like, well, I think it's to be too honest at the time. She's like, she's too honest, though, brutally honest. But yeah, anyway. But sometimes we're honest with others, but not honest with ourselves. So we might have that push and pull going on, and not know what it means. Like, that feel torn but be confused. So ask yourself, do you feel any form of pushing or pulling you out into the big wide world? An example of this was when I first had a vision years ago, actually, and it terrified me. I love singing, and I knew it wasn't about singing. I was shown this image of myself in a room with loads of people. This was before I was kind of on YouTube. I maybe had 11 followers, and I was shown this microphone as if to say, like, when I was asking, what is it you want me to do? And this image come up, and I was like, oh my God, the thought of standing in front of 500 people, I think there's roughly on this channel, and talking and doing the light language, for example, would have been out of my comfort zone. So progress mode, as Brendon Burchard was, it's not necessarily a comfortable. So when we're letting go, letting things happen, and we're in this chaos, and this is why I think it's really good to be sharing this at the moment in terms of what's happening. So it's not quite so scary. So you see it from the higher perspective rather than what is happening around you, as like, can't see the wood for the trees. If you look from high, like a drone looking, you can see the path, but there's all these trees around you kind of blocking all of these things happening, all this chaos happening, then it's hard to see. So third question, do you feel any forces pushing and pulling you back into the cage? What is it that's keeping you where you are? Aaron Doughty always talks about the familiar ties, and this is about that whole, if there's a payoff. Now, we may not realise it, but we stay in situations generally because there's a payoff. There might be an emotional payoff, there might be a financial payoff, a physical payoff. Say, for example, if it's a job, it'd be a financial payoff. You stay there for the money, or you stay there for the people, the emotional payoff. So what is the payoff that you're getting to why you haven't shifted, why you haven't moved forward and changed? Do you feel any forces pushing you back in the cage? That was 3. 4, if a friend was where you are right now, what would you say to encourage them? I'll use me as a guinea pig. So I'm kind of a little bit nervous. In June, July, I'm going to be talking as a workshop host and as a speaker. Now, I love to talk. I'm happy to talk for hours. I'm sure you know if you follow my channel. However, in public, in person, is a big push for me. So I'm starting small, pushing myself out of that comfort zone. So, add a Q&A stick. I don't know how to do that. So, how do you feel knowing that this is the first part of the process and it's meant to be happening? So let's take something that you wouldn't necessarily think that is like nice thing to happen. I don't know, a divorce, for example. But maybe you know deep down that you're not meant for that person and you don't get on. So that's a good example actually of like where people stay. The payoff is because they're thinking about where they've been and where they want to be, and rather than where they're going, that transformation, that push. And finally, the sixth question that it's got here, I know I've added a few of my own. What are you open to hear? What are you open to hear? What is it that you want to be open and receptive to? I always state the highest possible good, my highest trajectory. They're some of the words that I use. So letting go and losing control. One of the scariest things about life outside the bars of your metaphorical cage, shall we have ad-libbed, is the great unknown. If we are used to running the show inside the cage, how can we cope outside it when we don't even know what's coming next? Change sometimes feels scary, and sometimes our pain can be familiar. Again, we talk about this familiar. So it's sometimes easier for people to know the better the devil you know, is that expression, and stay where they are than move away from that pain. And it gets so much to the point that some people don't, they can't distinguish, like that pain becomes so part of them that letting go of that pain can actually be a little bit painful and unfamiliar. So this is kind of in reference here. It reminds me of a sweet folk tale about the sun and the wind with my mum, which my mum told me when I was a little girl and having a tantrum about wearing my navy blue duffel coat. The sun and the wind were born. I remember, I know this thing. Let me know in the comments if you know this story. The sun and the wind were bored. They were up in the sky looking down with nothing much to do. So the wind said to the sun, "Let's play a game. You see that little girl down there in the blue coat? I bet I can make her take that coat off before you can." "Okay," said the sun, "but I'll win." "No chance," said the wind. "I am so much stronger than you. I can bend trees, trunks, rattle windows, and power sows. I will make her take it off." So the wind blew and blew, but the little girl just pulled her coat around her and did up the buttons. She bent her head and pushed back against the wind. "What's happening? I don't understand," said the wind, dejected. "My turn now," said the sun, and he beamed and beamed, shining bright and warming the earth. The little girl looked up and smiled, then undid the toggles, wriggled out of her coat, and skipped on down the road. "How did you do that?" asked the wind. "I didn't try to force her to take her coat off," the sun said wisely. "I made her want to do it." And that is the difference between power and control. Freedom is about harnessing your power whilst letting go of the need to always be in control. I mean, perfect example, if you look about that in terms of societal shifts, how they've made people want to do certain things psychologically. I saw a program on this. I can't remember whether it was on Gaia or somewhere. Someone sent it to me, how they use, and I can't remember the word of what it's called. It's a psychological term. Basically, it's like group. So they put these certain things in power, and then they use the power of the group to implement it, so that And they use it all the time in politics. You can see it happening in the world when you look at it, when you watch it. I'll see if I can find it, and we'll do a little, we'll do a vlog on it, this psychological term. I'll look it up for you. It might be a while, but I will do it. And how we can unknowingly, unwittingly, sort of the power of mob mentality is used, for example, and how the energetic field of one person, and there's things you see them, these video clips where there's someone in the lift and they're all standing the other way, and then you'll get the other where they're all standing that way, and they eventually, and they did it with actors and actresses, and then so they knew what they were doing, and they would turn it, and then the people that went and normal people come in, and the person that was like had been doing it, they copied everybody else, and they did what everybody else had been doing, even though they didn't need to do it, like standing up when a alarm went off, or just little things, and they continue it. It's a generational patterns continue in this way of us kind of the mammal following the mammal. So anyway, think about the word control for a minute. Doesn't it feel tight, grasping, manipulative, and ugly? It's exhausting to try to control everything, and ultimately it isn't sustainable. You just create stress trying to micromanage other people, second guessing reactions and judging too many things. Think of the wind in the story with his red puffy cheeks and deep frown. Now think about letting go. And I always say this is like you're holding on to things, and then think about how good it feels when you release your hands. And we do this in workshops, and you kind of physically, somatically can feel the difference as well. Now think about letting go. Doesn't it feel better? More relaxed, gentle, inspiring. It's about trusting, being gentle. Hang on. More relaxed, gentle, inspiring. It's about trusting, being gentle, allowing. Think of the sun with his wide smile and warm sunbeams. We can't control the movements of the planets, the changing seasons, or the growing of our fingernails. We can't control that family we are born into. I remember my English teacher, Mrs. Haddingham, who I loved deeply, was a very great inspiration to me. She used to say that you can't control who your family are, but you can control and you can choose who your friends are and how you react to things. Like, you can't control what happens to you. One of my ex-boyfriend's sisters actually said that because she'd lost her husband and was left with a little baby boy. And she said, well, you can't control what happens. You can control how you react to it, how you respond to it. When I broke up with her brother, I thought that was the best thing out of that relationship. Anyway, so why do we think we can control how other people think, what they do, or what happens tomorrow? The fact is, while we can make choices that influence outcomes, we cannot control these outcomes. Once you know it's not possible, you stop trying, and with that comes sweet relief. Focus on what you can control: your cage bars, your response, your reaction, your mindset, your attitude, your choices, your escape plan, instead of what you often cannot control: your context, the people in it, and pretty much everything. I remember there's a kids meditation teacher I used to get the kids to listen to because they wouldn't do my meditations, even though I'm a meditation teacher. But Jason Stramp is like the actor, but not the actor. It's a meditation Australian guy. Anyway, and he used to say about having a doomsday plan sets a relief, because you've got like all of the things that can happen, you write them down, and then you know you've got that doomsday plan, so you can kind of get on with other stuff. So focus. Ooh, itchy nose. Excuse me. If you're a self-confessed control freak, don't worry. Your obsessive tendencies have prepared you well. You have a lot of energy. You are protective and proactive and smart, and you have superb organization skills. Oh, I'd love to manifest that. All these things can serve you if you direct them towards feeling free. Just think how much more time you'll have when you aren't trying to run everything, do everything, think of everything. Letting go of the need to always be in control doesn't mean not having a plan. Planning is actually an essential skill of the freedom seeker. As you will see later, rather, letting go means being open to what might happen, being ready for what it does, and enjoying the process along the way. Surrendering control doesn't mean becoming powerless. The exact opposite. In fact, it's how we become powerful. So often we give away our power to others, but we need to claim it and use it. We can serve without being subservient. We must stand up, not shrink back. We have too much to give to be hidden, and we can use that power to choose the attitude we have towards every part of our lives. Exercising your personal power allows you to make the choices that will set you free, and loosen the need for control opens you up to possibilities, serendipities, and miracles. So release your need for control and relax into ease and contentment of allowing life to unfold. And I think we'll save when things don't go to plan until next time, because I want to keep these short, and this was slightly longer than I planned. So we will leave it at that. Ooh, leave that in there. And we will see you next time. Transformational Tuesday. Normally I post these on a Wednesday for the wellness for our read by me. So if you're looking for the other videos, there's a playlist on here that has the Tao Tantric Arts for Women by Melka DeVos that we're reading, Qigong, Natural Healing, although that one might just be in the unlisted ones. Those ones, especially the Divine Sexuality ones, I think they might be on the Patreon as unlisted, but they're definitely the Beth Kempton. This one, Freedom Seeker, is in the Read by Teresa playlist on this channel if you're looking for the others. But I will, when we get to the end, I was going to go through and number part 1, part 2, part 3, but I should start doing that. I need to go back and find all the videos to do it. So, but yeah, the playlist, because to do it, I think you have to, I might be able to do it through the list. I'll have a look. Anyway, have a beautiful day, and thank you for joining me. I'm Teresa Jande from Tree Heart Art Design Authentic. Love Authentic Me on Facebook,